So I ran over this deck. You can see grip tape side down, park your car on the tail, flattened. So I feel like I have more control with flatter skateboard decks than I do with a steeper concave. Now, I'm talking about the kicks, the nose and tail, but I'm also talking about the concave from side to side. And even the nose and tail have a little bit of concave. So I was skating with my friend in an indoor park, and he noticed, hey, when you pop ollies, your back foot's not all the way on the tip of the tail. You slide your back foot way in. And especially when you're skating ramps, your foot's basically sitting in the flat. The fingers are flat there. When he said this, I realized that's because this is a flatter deck, and you have to skate a flatter deck different than you would a steep deck. A steep deck, you're all the way on the tip of the tail. A flat deck, you have more control because you're sitting right there in that pocket. You can really hold on to the board. So the main reason I skate a flatter nose and tail, like lower kicks, is because I sprained my back ankle really bad one time. And since then, my back ankle doesn't feel right on a really steep tail. So I'll run my board over and flatten it if I can't find a flat enough tail. I kind of had to relearn to skate flatter boards as an old man because of this. You just kind of scoot your foot in a little bit and it changes the way you pop. Also, you could have bigger wheels or taller trucks. That's going to help give you a little more pop with a flatter board. You could always use riser pads or something. I'm doing well with low trucks because I'm skating 56mm wheels on those slappy lows, so I don't really struggle with getting enough pop. Besides the kicks, I think the concave from side to side helps when it's flatter. For me, it's easier to do kick flips and heel flips, switch flips and switch heel flips with flatter concave. For me, I just get too much flick, too much flip with a steep concave. Also, when the nose is kind of rounded, sometimes it's harder for me to do kick flips. When the nose is more tapered and pointy, it's easier to do kick flips because it's easier to get my front foot off the front of the board. It's definitely easier to do ollie norths when you have less concave and your nose is lower. When I have flat concave from side to side, I feel like more of the board is in contact with my shoes. There's more friction and I'm more locked in on the board. So the grip tape feels grippier. If there's a lot of concave, part of my shoe's not coming in contact with it and I feel like the board's less grippy. When you're floating in the air, if you skate ramps and stuff and you get a little bit of air, you can definitely feel the difference between a mellow deck and a steep deck. When you're floating around in the air, you do feel like you're holding onto the board a little bit better with the mellow board. Or at least that's how I feel. Maybe I'm biased because whenever I skate a steep board, I can't even walk the next day because my ankle and my knee hurt so bad. It kind of puts everything off balance. If you're putting your ankle off balance, then you're pushing your knee in, you're pushing your hip out, and you're kind of messing up every joint in your body just because of that steep tail. But luckily, you can take any tail and make it more mellow by running over it with your car. I wish they made decks more mellow like they used to. I feel like they're making them steeper and steeper. Don't know why, because they're so fun to skate when they're super mellow. Even famous people like Ben DeGrow like to skate a mellow board. I feel like the older you get, the more mellow you're gonna like your boards. He has some great videos on this topic where he goes into detail about why he likes a more mellow board. So another thing that really affects the way the board feels as far as how mellow it feels is where your wheelbase is at. If you have a longer wheelbase and it's pushed back where you have less fingers of flat and then the tail curves up quickly, that feels like a steeper board. But if you have a shorter wheelbase, more flat before the tail starts to curve up, it feels like a more mellow board. And there's a place for your foot to rest right there in that pocket. I like to have a pocket, so sometimes I actually adjust my wheelbase and shorten it if that back set of bolts is almost hitting where the tail starts to curve up. Some people like that because it feels stiff and poppy, but I like to have a little pocket there to rest, especially if you're skating ramps. Like if you're skating ramps, you want to be able to feel locked in to your board. It doesn't matter if you have the most pop in the world. If I was jumping over picnic tables or something like that on flat, yeah, maybe I would want a steeper board. But for the kind of skating I do, I like to feel safe, secure, and locked in on my board. Now, if you want to do Dan Corrigan tricks and you want to lift your board up from a board slide into a hurricane on a round rail, you're probably going to want a steeper board. You're going to have more control, be able to kind of lift it up a little more with a steeper board. But if you just want to stay secure on your board slides, then a more mellow board just feels locked in. You don't rock back and forth as much on a rail. You know what I mean? Do you skate rails? So I'm going to try to get a video out on that Moose blank board tomorrow. If I can get the footage together. If that doesn't happen, I've got a link in the description to all the stuff I use. The boards I skate, the cameras and stuff that I use to make these videos. Check out that stuff in the description. It's Amazon affiliate link, so it helps me out. It helps this channel out. I'm supposed to go skate with my friends this weekend. I think I've got an idea of a really funny video, so hopefully I'll actually remember that, because I had this idea last week and the week before and totally forgot to do it, but hopefully I remember this weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, and hit that subscribe button because I got a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.